Next up is sports news on the news at 10. Atletico Madrid came from behind to beat Chelsea 3-1 and set up a showdown with city rivals Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League final. Spanish striker Fernando Torres gave Chelsea the lead against the club who quit in 2007. But Torres' goal was cancelled out before half-time by Adrian Lopez, who latched onto a loose ball in Chelsea's box. Substitute Samuel Eto'o then fouled Diego Costa in the box, and Italian referee Nicolas Rizzoli awarded a penalty. Costa converted the resultant spot kick to put the La Liga leaders ahead. Turkish international Arda Turan fired the Spaniards into their first European Cup final since 1974, winning 3-1 on goal aggregate after the scoreless first leg last week.
It could be even better for them. In comes Arda Turan, and is it tucked away? It is. Arda Turan scores the goal, and that's surely Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid in the 2014 Champions League final.
Well, game over, and it's a repeat of that first goal.
Well, the trophy definitely finds a new home in Madrid, whatever the result. Back here in Nigeria, Sunshine Stars of Akure moved out of the bottom of the Globe Premier League table after battling to a 2-1 victory over Bayelsa United. Former junior international Tunde Adeniji shot the Owena Waves into the lead in the 25th minute after collecting a pass from Malian import Ibrahima Ouattara. Ogogo Oduope increased Sunshine Stars' lead 10 minutes later, latching onto a loose ball from Kingsley Aduo to throw the Akure fans into wild celebrations. West Sobomabo scored Bayelsa United's consolation goal 2 minutes to the end of the first half. Meanwhile, Enugu Rangers bounced back to winning ways after a brace from striker Osagonal Igodaro helped the Flying Antelopes finish off Aqua United 3-0. Former champions Enyimba of Aba, Dolphins of Port Harcourt and El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri put 3 goals past their opponents as well. Giwa Football Club have just defeated Lobi Stars 2-1, and Nigerian international Bolao Salami scored his 5th goal of the season to hand Warri Wolves a 1-0 win over Taraba Football Club. Title holders Kano Pillars held embattled Heartland of Owerri to a 1-1 draw, while Nembe City and Kaduna United failed to ease their relegation woes. In the cadet category, 50 talented players will be registered for the qualifiers for the 2015 African Cadet Championship. Golden Eaglets chief coach Emmanuel Amuneke said the effort is geared towards strengthening the team for the challenges ahead. The Golden Eaglets, who won the bronze medal at the WAFO Under-17 tournament in Togo, are expected to resume training in the coming days. The world champions begin their 2015 African Under-17 campaign in July and have been drawn into the second round to meet the winner of the first round clash between Burundi and Democratic Republic of Congo. That's it on Sports News. Sulaiman will be back shortly with the rest of the news at 10.
While the United Nations Security Council wants Israel and Palestine to urgently resume negotiations as a way of ending the conflict between both countries, the President of the Security Council, Professor Joy Ogu, welcomed a two-state solution as a roadmap for peace in the Middle East region. Our correspondent at the United Nations headquarters in New York, Benga Ashiru, tells us more.
As the deadline approaches and courageous leadership decisions are required, Abbas deserts the talks. He did so in 2008, after the Israeli Prime Minister had offered an unprecedented and far-reaching peace deal. The Palestinians simply walked away. He did it again in 2009. Prime Minister Netanyahu courageously extended an olive branch to the Palestinians in an historical Bar Ilan speech and agreed to a 10-month settlement freeze. The Palestinians stalled and didn't reciprocate. In February 2012, surprise, surprise, just as we were on the verge of a breakthrough, Abbas abandoned the talks and flew to Doha to sign a unity deal with Hamas, an internationally recognized terrorist organization.
We are convinced that peace between Israel and Palestine cannot be imposed by the international community. They can only facilitate. peace must emanate from both parties. It requires the traditional give and take that are inherent in peace negotiations. Without equivocation, we want both sides to demonstrate greater flexibility in their long-term strategic interests.
Well, on the foreign scene, Ukraine remains so divided that its acting president, Alexander Turchinov, has admitted that his forces are helpless in subduing the unrest driven by pro-Russian activists in the eastern regions of Donetsk and Luhansk. He says the goal is how to prevent the unrest from spreading. Here's Cynthia Are with more.
Well, that's certainly the case, and activists have also seized scores of government buildings and also taken hostages international monitors. Mr. Turchinov also explained that Ukraine was on full combat alert amid fears that Russian troops could invade. Then there's heavy security across Iraq as the country votes in its first parliamentary elections since U.S. troops withdrew 3 years ago. The Prime Minister, Nouri al-Maliki, is hoping to win a third term in office amid a growing insurgency in the west of the country. Also today, the UN Human Rights Chief Navi Pillay has said that more than 9,000 child soldiers have been fighting in South Sudan's brutal civil war, and she says both the army and rebel forces did the recruiting. The United Nations is particularly concerned now that the country faces the threat of a famine, but despite that, there is an apparent lack of concern on the part of its leaders. Finally, a top Senegalese rebel leader has declared a unilateral ceasefire, raising hopes of ending one of West Africa's longest-running conflicts. Salif Sadio said he wanted to give the peace process initiated by President Macky Sall a chance. And those are the top stories on the foreign scene.
Well, many thanks, Cynthia. The main news again. 1,000 women today stormed the National Assembly complex in Abuja, demanding the quick intervention and release of abducted schoolgirls within 24 hours. The women, led by the former Minister of Education, Obi Ezekwesili, defied the heavy rain, calling on the military to ensure the abducted schoolgirls are rescued. Well, that's the news at 10. Well, thank you for watching.